Welcome to this section of study, financial accounting, as we always do it. Today, we want to talk about the subsidiary books. I haven't explained the definition of accounting. I haven't talked about the importance, branches, um, accounting equation, accounting concept and conventions, and the double entry principle, which is debiting and, of course, crediting. In our previous class, we did mention the principle, okay, of a double entry. That is, for every debit entry, there must be a corresponding credit entry. Yes, we talked about that. But today, we want to talk about the subsidiary books. Let's do this. Subsidiary books. Oh, my leg. It hits my leg now. Subsidiary books. In accounting, there's a topic called subsidiary books. Yes. It is called a subsidiary books because it is a book that is used in recording transactions. It is a book that is used to first put the events of transactions into a reasonable manner or process. Yes, we call it a subsidiary books because it is in these books we first record transactions before they are initially recorded in this book. Okay, events of transactions are initially recorded in these books before they are taken to the main book. Yes, that is why they are called subsidiary books. They are books used in recording financial information, financial transactions, so that errors will be reduced. It's just like when someone is in a hurry to do one or two things or to buy something, or when events are taking place in the field of accounting. Okay, these are books that you just bring out and do your checks and balances, do your recording. Okay, in the bit of recording that, you are easing yourself the stress because you might forget some transactions, you might forget some events. Okay, so if they have been recorded initially in what we call a subsidiary books, the risk of making mistake will be reduced. Yes, there's no doubt about that. And that is why it's called the subsidiary books. They are books used to record transaction initially before the main records are actually posted, okay, to other books or to the ledgers. Now we're going to look at the various categories of subsidiary books. Yes, in the course of this class, we look at the various categories of subsidiary books. Now let's do this together. Okay, we don't need to clean this. Okay, let's just do this. Subsidiary books types, categories of subsidiary books. We have the sales day book. We have the purchases day book. So I use books. Yes, subsidiary book, the various types or categories of subsidiary books. We have the returns invoice books. Returns invoice books. These are the major ones we want to talk about. Of course, the returns outwards books. So as the class progresses, we are going to analyze each of this work one after the other. Okay, we are going to talk about how each of this work will be calculated mathematically. Okay, showing some illustrations. Then we have what we call the cash book. Yes, in that cash book, we are going to see the various types of cash book. Is that understood? So subsidiary books, like I said earlier, they are books used to record financial information. As the event of transaction unfolds, okay, they are initially recorded before being posted to the main books. Is that understood? So these are the major categories of subsidiary books. We have sales day book. In the field of business, sales is what we are always looking out for. Money, 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 ego, yes. Our hand is always clashing on sales, want to make sales. Sales, so sales, any sales today. Even if a guy comes into your office, the first thing will say, sales, how far? Any sales? Any sales? That's why you're always having sales day book. Okay, the sales day book. Where is the sales day book? Where is the book? Where are the books? Everybody's interested in seeing what the event is all about. Okay, the flowing in and flowing out of transactions. Okay, how everything has been unfolding. Yes, that's the sales day book. Now, we talk about the sales day book. Please, the sales day books that are used in organizations are strictly for credit sales. I repeat, the sales day book are books used to record goods sold on credits, nothing attached to it. When customer comes to buy goods and they have not paid, please, we need the sales day book. Do you understand me now? So we are not saying the subsidiary books as that is why it is called a books that records transactions initially before they are being posted to the ledgers or to the main accounts. Yes, so that we don't forget. That someone can come and buy goods on credit that did not pay you. You may forget to take records. So that is why the subsidiary books have provided us with all of this information. So that when someone comes to buy on credit, please go to the sales day book. Do you understand me now? So on that note, the sales day book are books used to record goods sold strictly on credit. No more, no less. As long as payment has not been made, as long as transactions has not been made, transactions have been carried out, but monies have not been received. Yes, I beg your pardon. Excuse me. Just eat in my space. Transactions have been carried out, but funds have not been seen. Money have not been realized. Monies have not been collected. So it's on that note we have to take it to the sales day book so that errors can be reduced. Mistakes can be minimized. Appropriation of funds can be done accurately. Checks and balances will be reasonable. Haven't taken to the sales day book. Have we understood now? Now, back to back, purchases day book. That is the opposite of the sales day book. We call it a purchases day book because they are books used to record goods that were purchased by companies or owners on credit. When owners of business goes to buy goods and did not pay them, okay, those people there have a right to do what we call purchases day book because you have come to buy on credit without making payments. Just as someone will come to buy to you without making payment, you are having your sales day book on credit and they are having their own too on credit because you have come to buy on credit without paying. So it's vice versa. Is that understood now? So purchases day book are books used to record goods purchased strictly on credit. We use the word strictly there. Strictly on credit. Because it is the only book that records goods that were sold on credit. It is the only book that records goods that were strictly sold on credit. That is the only book that records it. So that is the way it is. So we have others, we have the return inwards book. Now let's understand the difference between return inwards book and returns outwards book. Let's look at the similarities between these two. Return inwards book, also referred to as sales returns, and returns outwards book, also referred to as purchases returns. Now, in returns inwards book, books, goods, or information recorded in this book are information of items actually sold, okay? Items actually sold, but later returned, okay? But later returned to the seller due to maybe inferior quality, damages, or some other circumstances. We call it returns inwards books because they are books used to record goods that have been returned by customers, which has been sold actually to them by their uh, sellers. Okay, there are books used to record goods returned by customers. Yes, they are called returns in words book. We call them sales returns. For goods to be returned, of course, they must have been sold. Okay, someone has come to buy from you, and maybe after buying one thing, they'll just come back and say, this one, inferior, this no, I want, this one thing or the other. Okay, depends on the quote of the company. Okay, it depends on the caveat emptor, because there are some organizations that will just signify caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. Okay, any goods sold is non refundable. So, as a business person, always use your caveat emptor if you want. It's strictly for large stores that doesn't really want to be bothered about returning, not returning, and all of that. Yes, we call it caveat emptor. Let the buyers beware. Let me put that on the board for us to see. Oh, yeah. Okay, close to my financial accounting. So how we call it caveat emptor. Caveat emptor. Let the buyer be aware. Okay, so this is a clause. It's a clause that is used by business persons. Okay, to address issues of sales, issues of purchases, and all of that. Okay, it makes them reduce their chances of accepting return goods. Yes. Any goods returned, any goods sold out is not refundable. That's just it. Now, on the other hand, we have the purchases returns or returns outwards book. These are books that are used, okay, to record goods that were returned by the suppliers. Yes, okay, these ones are from the suppliers' point of view. They are books used to record goods that are being returned by the suppliers to the business. So that is just that. So having understand what subsidiaries book is all about, and of course the various categories that accompany social that are aligned with subsidiary books. Now I'm going to tell you something. In our previous class, in a very short and lighter note, we are going to talk about what discounts are all about and the reasons for granting discounts. I want to omit it here so that it does not make our work to be too large. So in our next class, remind me, we are going to talk about discount and reasons for granting discount. It's very, very important you understand discount the way it is and why you must grant out discount as a business person. Is that understood? So when we talk about discounts, then we'll start illustrating all of this one at a time mathematically so that readers will understand, students will understand, and of course both users and non-users of accounting will understand. Thank you for watching. God bless you. So in our next class, like I said before, we'll talk about discount. This is Obi. Thank you.